What's going on, you little oddballs? It's Coreboy, and I'm back again at it today with a new video. I know I haven't uploaded in the last couple of days. We've been bombarded with HCS, okay? Listen, I have to be honest with you. Last couple of days, I've just been sitting here watching the event so that I can prepare this video for you all, talking about the event and kind of the crazy things that went on. And if you can tell by the screen here, Optic didn't win. It was Shopify Rebellion that actually took this event away. Of course, giving not only Best Man, but also Cycle and Last Shot their first event wins of their careers, which is super fucking huge, honestly. This has been like kind of a time coming since the start of the HCS this year. We knew that Optic and Shopify were going to be the head-to-heads, especially with the talent that is on those said teams. It really just feel like that, you know, whenever it came to these teams like getting together and playing, like there was a lot of back and forth with these teams. I feel like these are the only two teams that can compete at this level at this point. Well, not necessarily, because we do have a lot to talk about with a lot of how these teams were playing. And there's just so much to dive into with this event. It was kind of fucking insane. Of course, FaZe and SSG look better than they have this entire season, to be completely honest, with SSG getting a top 4 placement, FaZe getting top 3. But when those two teams were playing against each other, it was some of the most hard-battled Halo we have seen in a hot fucking minute. And yeah, we're going to talk about all of it here today, so let's get into it. So first of all, let's just start kind of with the big thing of Shopify winning. This is, I feel like, was kind of coming this entire season. I was curious as to when it was going to happen or how it was going to happen. With the first event, we've seen it kind of go neck and neck with Optic, kind of how it did with this series as well. It went pretty neck and neck down to the absolute end of the fight. It was kind of insane to watch. A lot of back and forth, a lot of crazy action. I do have a lot that I want to talk about with the grand finals appearance, because I feel like there was a lot to talk about. And it was baffling to see some of the things that I was seeing going on during that series. It was impressive from both sides. Definitely some decisions on Optic when it came to how they were playing that were questionable at times, that made me realize, like, yeah, I don't feel like they were locked in as hard as they were these last two events. It was kind of concerning. But that's just how the ball rolls sometimes. You just kind of got to take it, regain from it, and come back. And I think Optic are going to come back stronger than ever. I think they're not going to take this defeat lightly, because we all know from what Formal has said, the reason this team was formed was to win every event. And them not winning this one, I think, is going to cause a little bit of a stir-up with the roster. Not like a change or anything, but we're going to see a lot more stepping up from these players. But, you know, with this team on Shopify, we got Last Shot, Cycle, Royal, Frosty, and Coach Best Man. And those five, well, the 4 players and the coach, they were giving it their fucking all, especially during Optic's run with them. We seen on Sunday when they first played against each other, Shopify had a lot of advantages going in, and they were consistently playing for power weapons and power-ups on the map. They were really showing, hey, don't fuck with us. We are a dominant team, and you will not come back from this. And we've seen that even going into Grand Finals. Shopify constantly had the upper hand over the Rebels, or over Optic, and it was impressive to say the least. Like, Optic has always been a team that has played really well with the power on the map, and they don't even necessarily need it at all times either. That's another thing we've noticed about Optic this entire year was, like, sure, they may not have all the power, but they are holding this team back and making sure that their backs are against the wall, and they are going to be fighting for that place. And especially, like, with how Shopify was playing it, they're just so aggressive. And you even hear it in their comms. They feel a bit disconjointed sometimes and a little bit over sporadic. But every time, it seems to kind of work in their favor. Rather they're winning or losing, Shopify has, like, definitely one of the best regain abilities of any of the teams right now besides Optic. It's just kind of how we've seen it. And so them getting this victory is not something that I was, you know, not expecting. I expected it to happen at some point where I would see these 4 players take the crown over the green wall, and it's just not something that I, you know, was like being like, oh, this will never happen. This team will never do it. If I'm being completely honest, the only teams I see not overcoming Optic, but even then that could change because we've seen how SSG and FaZe were playing against Optic, and I feel like there's definitely going to be some talks around that group, around those 4 players, of how, hey, we have to get ahead again. Like there needs to be, like, everybody's kind of catching up. We have to find a way to stay ahead of that curve. I feel like Shopify's been the one who's, like, really kept up on it. Absolutely insane plays from them, especially with Royal 2. Royal 2 is playing in his fucking bag this weekend. The things that that man is able to do on the map is actually baffling to me. And it's weird because I feel like for the last 2 years I've heard, oh, Royal 2 is playing too slow. He's not getting in the action. He's not doing enough. And this year, this man has been in his bag. He still plays like Royal 2. He doesn't miss his shots. He plays a little bit slower than everybody else. But when that man gets locked in, whenever he is in flow state, he is unfucking stoppable on the map. It is insane the things that he does. And it works in his favor every time. Because sure, he plays a little bit slower, but you find him, he's going to make you pay for it. He's going to make you realize, hey, this is why you're not winning against me. I'm going to 5 you, and I'm going to keep running your fucking team. I'm going to hold you back the entire time, while players like Last Shot and Frosty are out there hitting insane fucking clips on everybody at this point. Frosty is just one of the most consistent players ever, and we know this. I kind of look at Frosty and Renegade as one and the same. And I do kind of feel like that's one reason why, like, they didn't necessarily meld as well on, like, a phase team together, is because they play super similarly. They are weird. They go out of their way to go to areas of the map that no one else is going to kind of catch everybody off guard. And that's one thing they're both really, really good at. And you see it when they're playing against one another. Because you'll see, like, both of them getting these fights together on, like, these weird-ass areas of the map where, like, no one else is. And it's like, oh, they both had the same idea to go this way, and now they're running into each other. And it's just who wins and who's going to take that advantage. And it kind of went both ways in the entire series that we've seen against them within the winners finals and grand finals. It was really impressive to watch. Cycle, of course, is just a monster as well. One of the best OBJ players, I would say, hands down right now, besides Legend. He really knows where to put himself depending on what his team is doing. And I think it's one thing that, like, gets taken for granted with Cycle by a lot of people who are just viewing and watching, is Cycle just picks up where everyone else is lacking, and that's, I think, what makes him such a successful team. It's kind of the same with Legend on Optic. Legend does not need to be out there slaying 24/7. If he's like, okay, cool, my whole team's slaying, I can just play objective this whole game and be fine. And he does it super, super well. And I think that's kind of where Cycle steps in as well, and he does it. And he showed at this event that he's really, really good at that. He does not need to be a main slayer 24/7. He can just play objective, hold his spots, and knows how to pick up where his team is lacking. And I think that right there shows a lot of compatibility with this player, and shows that he is a force to be reckoned with on the map. I will say one thing I was really, like, kind of worried about with Optic, and I do want to talk about this a little bit, was Bound's performance at this event. It was really flip-floppy and weird with Bound this entire tournament. I don't know what was going on. But it was super weird. I've never seen Bound, like, in an element like what he was doing at this event. And I think it's something that I wish Optic would take some note on. If you watch Bound's POV, you know what Bound's doing. He constantly throws himself out there to the enemy team. He's dealing damage, and a lot of damage at that. But he's not really hitting, like, insane KDs or anything. But what he does is he has, like, one of the highest damage percentages on his team. And he's really, really good at that. And that's something I've always commended Bound on, is his ability to just run out there, get a lot of damage, and then back away and do whatever else he needs to do. He's really, really good at that. Like, he is what I look at as kind of damn near a tank role. He just deals out a fuckload of damage. He can play his life when he needs to. But one thing I was really concerned about was, I noticed Bound, this event particularly, was consistently rushing out and kind of not, he was dealing damage, but he was dying a lot. And it was something that Optic was struggling with on their Slayers. But there was a time, it was the last game of the Grand Final Series, it was Live Fire Slayer. Bound had picked up a sniper, and he played a little bit slower, and that's when Optic really started gaining their advantage over Shopify. I'm not gonna lie. If Bound, I think, was to slow down a little bit in some of those certain situations instead of keep going at them as fast as possible, I would have seen Optic getting a bracket reset out of that. And I feel like I kind of kept having that feeling, but I was like, okay, when he slows down, they're really getting their footing. Like, they're holding their spots they need to. And I'm not gonna lie, I feel like there's times where I feel like Renegade needs to just throw that sniper and be like, hey, slow the fuck down, hit your shots. And he does. I feel like everybody sees him with a sniper rifle, and they're like, why is this not a Renegade? And then Bound comes out and hits, like, crazy fucking shots, and it's like, oh, this dude also knows how to hit his fucking shots with this thing. He needs to play like this more often. And I would be here to see Bound play more like that, especially in times where it feels like it's needed. That's one thing that I get concerned about with Optic, is they want to play fast 24/7, and they need to slow down sometimes. We've seen it at, I think it was Arlington, where there was a point in the comms where you kept hearing Lunchbox. He was just telling about like, hey, slow down, stop pushing. And he needs to like kind of listen to that a little bit more. I feel like that would have added for a lot more success in this event. Especially because now I feel like everybody's kind of picking up on how every team plays. And we've seen it especially in something like the FaZe series against Optic, where I think a lot of people expected Optic to like come in there and just completely roll over FaZe like they were nothing. But FaZe was fighting them very, very well. In every single match, it was close. It was down to the wire, and FaZe knew how to pick up off of them. They were like, oh, cool, we got one down, just collapse on all of them. We're 4-3, collapse. And they just knew how to do it. And I feel like if all these teams start picking up on that with Optic, we're going to see some changes. We're going to see some changes in how these teams are performing and what their placings are. And when they come into a series of Optic, and this is really only geared towards the top 4, I feel like top 5 and below are not really picking up on it like a lot of these teams are, except maybe like Nemesis really is the one that could come out and make an upset. But every game was just down to the wire with that FaZe series, and it was really impressive. And same with whenever Optic was playing Space Station. We seen in their series, Space Station went up 2-0, and then, of course, Optic reverse swept them, but those 2-0s looked dominant. They knew exactly what to do whenever Optic was trying to, get one of their, like, weird little plays off. And it's impressive, to say the least, and I'm happy to see that at this event. One thing is, like, the last 2 events that we have seen in this season of the HCS is it feels like a lot of teams did not know how to answer what Optic was doing. They didn't know how to capitalize in certain areas like Optic did. Optic was always on top of everybody, and that was one thing that I feel like SSG and FaZe were really struggling with. Was SSG or FaZe would have a setup on a map like an objective mode like Oddball or King of the Hill or Strongholds, and Optic would just push every single member at them, and they would not know what to do. They would kind of like back down, and they would get really uncomfortable and scared. And it was really odd. But then at this event, we seen it kind of go a different way, where those teams are like, okay, wait, we just need to, we need to figure out, how we need to push this team and continue pushing them out. It's kind of a back and forth with Optic, because they play so fast, and every team just doesn't necessarily need to be as fast as Optic. They just need to know where to capitalize on what they are doing. And it's one thing I think we've seen a lot at this event was teams understanding, okay, this is where we can capitalize. Sure, we may not be as fast as this team, but if we get one down because they're all just wanting to run at us, we can play off of that one down and really show them, hey, stop fucking doing that. And it was just impressive to see all around from every, top 4 team. Of course, I will talk a little bit, the FaZe and SSG series, that was kind of a grudge match, and I loved it. It was probably my favorite series of the weekend was the FaZe versus SSG match. I'll be honest, those are just my 2 favorite teams to watch because there's clearly a lot of bad blood there. Of course, you all know, after DreamHack, there was a bit of a roster flip with those 2, with Suppressed and Falcated going to SSG and Lucid and Snakebot coming to FaZe. I'm gonna say some things, and I know people are probably gonna get mad at me, but hey, I'm fine with that. If you all think that Snakebite needs to fucking retire, you are brain dead, and stop thinking that. Snakebite was in his bag this weekend. We seen the things that Snakebite were doing, and trust me, I was paying attention. I love that play. I love that man so fucking much. He's one of my favorite players besides my typical go-tos. I kept hearing at the beginning of the year, oh, Snakebite's playing bad. Snakebite needs to retire. And one thing that kept coming around at this event was they look comfortable. Lucid and Snakebite look comfortable on this roster. They know how this team plays. They know how to capitalize on how this team plays. And one thing that I really liked this whole event was you've seen a different side of Lucid this entire event. It was really impressive, to say the least, because one thing we're, I think, used to in this, state of Infinite is Lucid was always a main slayer. He knew how to hit a fucking shot, and I feel like due to the restrictions of power weapons now, we don't see it as much. But I will say, with that new carbine coming out, we might see year 1 Lucid back in his bag, and I'm here for it. Okay, listen. There's not a lot of players that when you get on their POV that I get as excited for as when I see Lucid in his bag. We've seen that man do some crazy shit. And actually, I feel like at this event on the FaZe roster, it was Trippy and Snakebite and Penguin. Which, I'm gonna be real, if y'all hate Penguin, if y'all hate Trippy, you just dumb, okay? If people who think that those 2 are bad players, you don't know anything about Halo, you don't know how those 2 play. Those 2 are going off this year. And I feel like both of them had a lot to prove from last year. Like, especially with Trippy and Penguin, with them always kind of being like the scapegoat for Optic. Trippy and Penguin really locked in this year and said, oh, we're going to show them why we are not the scapegoats. We are not the fault of that team. We are the ones who can carry these teams to victory. And we've seen it. You know, we've seen it at DreamHack when FaZe went to they got a top 2 finish. And a lot of it was due to, like, Trippy was playing some crazy shit in those. And then we seen at this event, Zane was so locked in, it was impressive. There were times where I'm like, what the fuck is this man doing? Like, it was insane, especially against Optic. Penguin was playing some of the best Halo I've ever seen. But there was definitely one moment in that series where I'm about 99% sure that fucking Legend hit a BXB. I think it was on Penguin, and I was like, whoa, did he just BXB in Infinite? I didn't even know we could do that. Like, what in the world? And, like, he legit did. I'm probably not gonna have enough time to, like, throw a clip up on screen because I am recording this definitely not right before work, but hey, you know, it's cool. It's just sometimes how it happens, you know. It's just part of the game we play here. But there was, like, some times in there where I'm like, dude, FaZe might be able to take something from Optic here. And at the next Charlotte event, I'm kind of concerned about it, because if FaZe get locked in, that's a scary team. You have world champions on that team. You have one of the best Halo players of all time. Someone who was nominated for the best FPS controller player ever with EWC. We've seen Snakebite get put in there with one of the votes. We also seen Formula in there too from Optic. And I'm just going to say it. If you get commended for an award like that, that says a lot about you as a player. And people who keep hating on Snakebite, you were just simply wrong. That man does not play Halo like you. He plays that shit on a different level that you all will never understand unless you have teamed with him or played against him. And that is how it is, and that's just how it's going to be. And honestly, I'm really happy to see that Snakebite and Lucid are back in their bag, and they are comfortable with this team. Of course, I do think it's funny that when Lucid was not with Trippy, Lucid was struggling, and now that Lucid is with Trippy, he is back in his bag. It shows that there is a duo there that is kind of unbreakable. And we've seen Trippy talk about it. If y'all watch the Todd the Leader podcast, he kind of hinted, he was like, yeah, when Tommy's not with me, he struggles, but when Tommy's with me, he's in his bag. And it's kind of true. I see it more and more as they continue to play together, and they're one of my favorite duos. I'm a huge fan of Trippy and Lucid. I know y'all get mad. The Lucid haters might come out at me, but that duo is so fun to watch because they play off of each other so well. And I think that's one thing I love a lot about these duos. Like, we've seen it back in the day with Snakebite and Royal 2. Like, for example, like, those two they knew how to play off of one another, and that's what gave them so much success. And now we kind of see it with Lucid and Snakebot kind of, you know, forming this duo, and then having Trippy there too, who has been Lucid's longtime teammate. Like, we see it in this whole roster of, like, oh, these guys just know what to do with one another. Like, you'll see Trippy drop an insane amount of kills, and then you'll see it same happening with, like, Snakebite, and then Lucid and Penguin are just kind of filling the gaps. Like, it's really impressive to watch for that roster. And then we also see it here on the SSG roster as well with Stellar and Suppressed and Falcated. Dude, I don't know what Falcated was on. He was dropping 40 bombs at the event. That's insane. Even if they lost, man was putting numbers on the board, and that shit was insane to see. I was like, whoa, like, what the fuck is Falcated on? And then we got Suppressed and Stellar. You know what to expect from those two. Stellar especially. Stellar is just gonna punish everybody. It's just what he does. It's what he's best at. He's one of the best players right now, and people hating on Eco, you're dumb as well. Okay, listen, just because he ain't doing the most on the map does not mean he is not controlling that fucking team. Eco knows what he's doing, and people who think he's bad, you're just weird. He may not be putting up crazy numbers. He might do some weird shit here and there where I'm like, what the fuck are you doing, Eco? He knows how to control this team, though, and that's one thing about that man that no other team got is a controller like Eco. He plays as a fucking leader for that team, and I think it's one thing that makes him such a great player. But overall, this event was absolutely phenomenal. All the teams were playing great. Unfortunately, I'm a little upset personally because I didn't see Nemesis in the top 4 like I was hoping I would. Listen, I'm not going to lie. I think if Nemesis keeps getting these boot camps here, if they keep playing the way that they are, we could see some Nemesis upsets, and I really want to see it, man. I love watching that fucking team. They're one of my favorite teams to watch. Of course, as an M&K man, y'all know I gotta love Woodham. He's kind of the GOAT. Okay, listen, dude's cracked. He's the fucking guy. So hopefully this year we see a little bit of some upsets from Nemesis. I really do hope so with these two last events that we have for the HCS season. And for the foreseeable future, the HCS, since we are taking a bit of a tie down until the next game comes out, which, you know, unfortunate, but we do. I'm going to be talking a lot about that over the next couple of months, especially after Worlds, which, if you all do not know, I am more than likely going to be at Worlds this year. So I don't know, if y'all hate me, you can say it to my face, or if you fuck with me, you can be like, yo, what up, boy core? I'm gonna be real, I'm gonna feel weird when y'all call me that, but I'm gonna be able to just call me by my name. But, you know, it cool. You can call me core boy. I'm not gonna be mad about it. I'm gonna be like, hey, yo, what's up? It's just a little weird to me. I had that happen recently. I had somebody call me core boy at IRL, and I was like, yo, what the fuck? Don't call me that. That's weird. It's cool though, but I'll be there, and I'll probably be bullying Austin to his face, because he might see this video. Hey, Austin, you're gonna get a little bullying, and I get to see a British guy too. But we do have other news, so let's talk about that next. We got Halo in Fortnite. So yeah, this announcement came out actually during the event. I seen it. It looks like we're getting more Halo stuff in Fortnite, which is super fucking dope. I'm gonna be honest with you. As you can see here, get them August 7th. Y'all down for Fortnite content? Especially because it involves Halo. Y'all know me, I'm the Halo guy. That's just what we be doing here. So of course, we're gonna be playing it for those Halo skins. I'm gonna get them. I'm gonna have them in my inventory. Because I may or may not have missed out the last time the Chief was in the store, unfortunately. It just kind of happens that way sometimes. You know, life happens. I can't help that. But we're getting Halo stuff in Fortnite. Now, I'm not going to lie, this art's a little fucking weird. Why are the Spartans that skinny? Why the fuck are they malnourished? I don't think that's how Spartans look in Halo. But nonetheless, it's Halo content in another game, and I'm going to be excited for it. Because that's just what I look forward to, okay? I like having Halo content in other games. I think it's dope. Okay, we seen it with Rainbow Six Siege. We seen it with Gears 5. Give me it in Fortnite. Give me more. Give me an Arbiter skin. You know, and maybe add the battle rifle. That'd be dope. Let me five somebody in fucking Fortnite. Let me show them what it's like to be a Halo player. Let me show these Fortnite kids what the fuck is up. And I'm going to be honest with you, I'm kind of excited for this. I'm happy that Halo's getting some more spotlight as of recent, and I feel like a lot of it has to do with the announcement that we are going to get at Worlds this year. So I'm looking forward to this personally. Really looking forward to Worlds and all the news that we're going to get there. I'm excited to make some content there. I do have things planned. I promised you all, I'm not just going to Worlds to hang out. There's going to be content. I promise y'all. Now, sure, is it going to be after Worlds because I won't be able to have a space to edit? Yeah. Is it all probably going to be recorded in kind of a scuffed way because I don't have a full fucking team behind me? Probably, but I'm excited for it. Y'all are going to get to see some homies in there. Some, hey, I may as well just leak it here. If y'all watch my content, you all know there's a group of people that I play with all the fucking time. That's just my homies, and that's what we're called. It's just the homies. If you all have been by the streams, you've probably heard us talking shit to each other. Some of them might be coming. There's gonna be some IRL content with the boys, with a man named Bradshaw, my goat, my best friend. If you all have been around the channel for a while, you know about Bradshaw. There's a lot of videos on this channel that feature Bradshaw. That's just my boy. That's my homie. That's my my lifelong friend. And yeah, we're gonna be making some content there and everything. We're gonna be at Worlds, of course. Whenever this content does come out, we're gonna be doing a video on it because I will be talking about it because it does involve Halo. I will go ahead and just let you all know this as well because this is right before I end the video here. We've been back on our bullshit. Okay, listen. There might be a Halo stream tonight. You should probably stop by and say hi. You should probably come support your boy while I'm out here grinding, doing shit. But yeah, we're back on our Halo bullshit. You know, y'all know how it is. We love Halo here. That's the main thing I do content for. Even when we're working on playing other games like I have been with Destiny, you know, it still comes up in conversation. We still talk about Halo because that's what we love here. Okay, listen. I wouldn't own all these damn games if I didn't love it. Or all these books if I didn't love it. But of course, also at the end of the month, we got Gears Reloaded, and we are looking forward to that. There's going to be a lot of content involving Gears. Because if y'all don't know, my two loves in this world, or three loves, are, well, Halo, that y'all see on the screen, Gears of War, which I got all of them back there, and this little dumbass is called Fallout. I'm working on content for all those games right now, and I'm trying to figure out what to do. But other than that, though, I'm hop out of here. Reminder, there is a stream tonight. There is a link down below for the Twitch, and if you don't come say hi in the stream, I'm never going to forgive you. I love you all. Later.